pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, with liberty and justice for all. Is there anybody here that wants to say prayer before we start? If not, we'll continue with the business meeting. We're going to shorten our agenda tonight because some things just didn't come in before we take care of it. So we're going to approval of the minute meeting, or the meeting minutes.
You should have one.
I read them.
So on the May 22nd, just the 22nd, or, yeah, I can't sign that. I can't sign that one. I wasn't here.
You could, I know you weren't here, but you can still vote to approve minutes even if you were not in attendance. I mean, you're not verifying the veracity of them. Everything's recorded and everything's on. So just to approve the memorandum of what actually happened at the meeting would not require your attendance. Obviously, there are people that don't really care to vote for things when they're not there tonight.
I don't know that, though, it was recorded, and it was on the old system of how we did minutes.
I got you.
For Facebook stuff. So.
No problem.
Jerry signed it. You got this June 2nd, it was the special council meeting. Okay, I'll sign it. And then June 9th, the public notice draft plan, public hearing. And then the June 16th executive meeting that we reviewed the resumes. Do we need somebody to attest that on the executive?
Generally speaking, the attestation is that the first meeting thereafter, you simply make the statement that the only thing that was discussed in that meeting is that what you advertised. And so that's a confirmation that you're making to the public.
Well, what is in the minutes is the only thing that we did discuss. It's all in the minutes.
You got any messages? Okay. Any petitions or remonstrances?
No.
Department reports. Do we have any?
See Rob Bell. I didn't get anything from him.
The park, they seem to be
Yeah, well, Haley, I mean.
Oh.
What do you want to say?
We were gonna have a schedule meeting to get things going on that.
In July.
Yeah.
You guys are going to elect your officers into,
Try to get another member in.
okay.
On that.
Do you have anything that you wanted to report?
I sent my stats the other day. They're a little higher now than they were. I think we're at 16 traffic stops, 3 citations, we're after 1. Stats for June so far, 5 calls for civil service. We assisted on 1 moving call. Vehicles back repaired and further issue there. Friends stabilizer issues. Spoke with Nancy earlier about getting approval to purchase more total paper and being program. So we'll be putting that order in.
I can't do it.
We're going to be putting an order in tomorrow for more thermal roll paper
Oh.
for the program. So we'll be ordering that.
Stuff like that, if they use, if it's in the budget, we really don't have to do that. I mean, you know, they can use it for you.
Yeah, well, sure. Nothing else we're reporting a little bit on.
UVB board, she didn't have anything, they haven't had any meetings since September.
Well, we did get those papers, grant made up where I think it'd make it easier for all of us to get things together and get stuff done. Because it's like 1, 2, 3, 4.
I don't know if Ally got a copy of it, I know Scott got a copy of it. I don't know if Ally got a copy of it. Did you send it on by email? No, to, okay, so I can forward it to her.
Consideration of tax abatement application and for Wagler down here, Fort Bill.
And Jerry, if you'd like, I can speak just briefly to that.
If you would, I know that they went through, one of their employees is very deeply involved in it, passed away.
Yeah.
And I have prayers for the family.
Yeah.
And that'd be the-
Someone, the main secretary at Wagner, who requested the abatement, they passed away recently. So, of course, our sympathy for that group. Wagner Custom Homes was present a couple of meetings ago. They asked for permission for, I believe, utility connection. And after that, they also asked for they made an abatement request.
what is incorrect.
They sent it in to the town now, so, I don't.
It was a time frame that they had wrong with it.
Yeah, so their first application, there were some mistakes and,
We just
since-
wanted it corrected and,
Corrected.
because we knew that stuff was going on in there, and just be fair.
So, just at a big picture, they're generally, we request anybody that has that is asking for an abatement to present in person, which they've done. They've submitted an application, which is in front of you tonight, which is a declaratory resolution, making request for abatement. And that would have to go in front of the governing body of the town, not simply the county, because it's within the town limits. That will then declare this an area that needs development or needs redevelopment for that specific area. And then we'll set it for a public hearing at a future meeting, and then you'll figure out the schedule, if you are approving of this, how you want to approve of the abatement or the reduction of tax. So it's generally a 3-step process. They talk about it, which they've already done, then the declaratory, then the confirmatory at a public hearing. So this is the second step this evening.
You read the paper on the abatement, right?
It initially came through the Economic Development Organization. When we figured out it's within the bounds of the town, then you're the declaring body for that. But yes, I've looked at it, as have.
So are we to sign on this if we approve the, this declaration, resolution?
Yeah, so maybe we'll just read through it and talk through it, see if there are any questions, and then go ahead with the declaratory step with a motion and second and approval of a majority of the board to take this second step in front of the, prior to the confirmatory, which would be the last step.
Do you wanna read this out loud, or do you want me to, or Jerry?
I can do it. Okay, declaratory resolution designating a portion of Davis County as an economic revitalization area. The Elnora Town Council of Davis County, Indiana has determined that certain real property located in the county at Indian Street, Elnora, Indiana, 47529, with title held by Larry Wagler, as specified in the application for tax abatement filed by Larry Wagler, with a map and description attached to the application as Exhibit A, should be designated an economic revitalization area pursuant to Indiana Code, as amended, for purposes of granting real and personal property tax abatement. Whereas this council hereby finds the real estate as an area which has become undesirable for normal development and occupancy due to a lack of development or other factors which have prevented a normal development of property or use of property, and that the designation of said area as an economic revitalization area would enhance the opportunity for the creation of new jobs and investment. Whereas Larry Wagler anticipates increases in the assessed value of the real estate and anticipates making significant investments in equipment and personal property in connection with the proposed redevelopment of the subject property, and has submitted the documents attached as Exhibits A and B, including a statement of benefits for real property and personal property as part of this application. So that should be, that's the initial application that they submitted, which was modified, and that is,
Okay, on there, did you say it was in the county?
well, it's in Davis County, but it's within the boundaries of
Right.
the town of Elnora. Now therefore be it resolved by the Elnora Town Council of Davis County that the real property is hereby designated as an economic revitalization area within the meaning of Indiana Code for purposes of granting both real property and personal property pursuant to the application submitted by Wagler. Notice of the adoption and substance of this resolution and all other documents and disclosures required by Indiana Code shall be duly published in accordance with Indiana Code. And this relates to it being a public hearing on this last step. But the notice that shall be published will state a date for a public hearing on this resolution, and that on that date, after hearing objections and remonstrances and considering evidence thereon, this council will take final action determining whether the qualifications for an economic revitalization area have been met, and confirming, modifying, confirming, or rescinding this resolution. Number 3, a copy of the above reference notice shall be filed with the officers of a taxing unit that has authority to levy property taxes in the geographical area, and is hereby designated as an economic revitalization area at least 10 days prior to the public hearing.
I don't have a problem with it. Eventually, it's gonna be healthy for the town.
I'll make a motion to accept that.
Well, I think,
All in favor? Do we want to go ahead and sign this, and you guys take it with you?
You may do that. Why don't you go ahead and make a copy of it just for your own record, and then we're going to go ahead and send the public notice out and get that completed so that the final step is all we waited on. And I guess just a quick question. I believe they're requesting a 10-year flat line abatement.
Just schedule what you,
And if you're wanting that to be different, certainly.
that's pretty well standard though, isn't it? 10 years.
Sometimes it's flat, sometimes it's incremental.
Yeah, pretty well standard here in the county. I noticed there's a lot of rooms and stuff, so that's not a lot. Or if they do big,
Certainly a good thing.
And I'll just say, I mean, have you ever received, do you recall receiving a request for abatement at all in the past? I mean, certainly not in the last 2 years, right? So it's definitely a good step for the town if there's additional revenues and development.
mostly gonna be warehouse, not too much manufacturing where noisy or interfering, right? Get ready.
you got the original one.
Either one. I mean, we just want one version of it. And maybe what we do hereafter is just scan everything in, whatever you all approve, and then we'll have a single packet.
In the new business. We're gonna visit the resolution approving the master utility plan.
On June the 9th, we held a second public hearing for your planning grants, which was to do your plans for all three utilities. The engineering firm, Lauren and Elizabeth were here, they thoroughly went through the three plans that night. And at this point, well, I should back up. At the end of January, those plans were submitted to the Office of Community and Rural Affairs for their approvals for any changes that they wanted. There was some minor changes that they wanted that were made. And so they have approved those plans themselves. And so we're ready to close out the planning grant more or less with the Office of Community and Rural Affairs at this point. And so tonight, it would be the town board then making the resolution to approve those plans so that we can send that to the state so they will include or let us close out or finalize the planning grants. And with that, I have the letter tonight that authorizes us to do the second and final grant draw of funds, which will pay for the invoice of the engineering firm for the completion of those plans.
What is the council on
I believe it's $1,200. I have it here, the invoice. That's gonna go with this. The grant amount that's still left to request is $36,000, and the final invoice for all their services on the plans is $37,120. So it'd be $1,120, but that would be local money. Which would do the drawdown for the rest of the grant.
that?
So we need to sign that to get that.
Yes, I
Just
need,
the
I need to
drawdown.
submit both of these to the state, along with the minutes that I did from the June 9th meeting and these sign-in sheets, so.
And she gave me a copy of these minutes, so I'll make you a copy of it.
Have we got it? It's not a purchase order, but we're gonna have to write you a check, right, for $1,200.
Well,
And then we would need to,
once you get that money in, you're gonna give the check for the $37,120 to the engineering firm, once that grant money comes back into the town. Which will
it
take-
comes to the town
Yes,
and
it
not
does.
you.
Right, that is correct.
Okay.
And SIDC will have a final invoice that I believe for the
Okay, cool.
administration.
One, I'm not to make sure that we have everything down pat. So, and then what was recommended for the engineering, is that down pat? That was, what we got was just a recommendation.
Recommendation,
Right.
yes.
That's what I wanna make
The
sure.
plans have been approved, but there can be, some minor amendments or adjustments as the town, sees.
Cause I was gonna have Jeff Farmer to look at it when we did.
And that's-
Yeah, we have engineers, but we also gotta have the people who's gonna be running it. Sometimes they can figure out some things that maybe you don't need or you need. It'd be easier to do it now than it would be at the last minute.
Right.
So, I don't have a problem. Anything else that you wanna add to that on that we need to know tonight?
Really for tonight, I just need those two documents discussed and approved by the board tonight so that we can get ready to send that to the state to close out. And I have copies if you guys.
I was gonna copy the, on the 9th at the beginning, it's 36,000.
Yes.
We just sign these and then, right?
And the resolution will need official approval.
Let me vote on that.
Mm-hmm. I would, anything we sign, I think we should say that we accept it.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and accept this resolution for the town council. approving that from the utility company.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
So both of us agreed to it. 2-0. I just need to sign this one, don't I?
Yeah. Do we have a resolution number for that?
It's probably in this basket. Probably at the bottom of that basket. Like it's gonna be 09.
2609,
Mm-hmm.
what is it, 2026?
I think you just got the one. Oh, did they, okay.
I thought we put like,
We do, I thought.
it's 2026 and then 09, right? That way we know what year.
I'll make a copy. And you want these, right? Tonight?
Either that or you guys can email it to me. Either
Okay.
one.
I'll just scan it and email them.
Okay.
Okay. Which one? This is the one for Rob.
I
I
don't
should
know.
have brought my keys.
I have this.
Okay, the next one is resolution for adopting IC 523 for bond agreements. When you said this is just a resolution to consider it,
Yeah, so it adopts Indiana Code 523, which allows bond agreements, and then additionally, it allows you to solicit proposals from interested developers. It doesn't lock you into any particular path, it leaves it as an option should the board want to pursue it.
yeah, I've asked Sean to crack some numbers to see which way is really going to be the cheapest for us.
So on bots, are we thinking the emergency water that we're working on now? Or is that the wastewater project that may come out of the planning study?
I believe it's all encompassing.
Anything that the town would want to do that delivery method through.
But we're not going to need,
The only reason I say that is the water emergency loan that we're dealing with right now, I think through the evolution, Wendy and Lori and them have got firm quotes, so I think we know pretty firm what you gotta spend on that.
and where we're going to do it.
Where are you gonna get that? So water aside leaves wastewater project. From a wastewater standpoint, April 1st, the town applied for the state revolving fund. The draft project priority list, the draft PPL for fiscal year 2027 has been released. The town scored a 55, and that's pretty low. And so what that means is you're not in the fundable range, so you can only get grant dollars if you're in the fundable range from SRF. There's other places to get grant dollars. Over is one of the places to get grant dollars. USDA Rural Development is another place to get grant dollars as well. I would think you'd want to further explore those grant opportunities to the fullest before you make any other decisions on.
Well, like our media
On
and our
water.
analyzer for the water.
Yeah, on the water side.
I think that we can do that much easier. And to me, looking at it, correct me if I'm wrong, but let's keep all of our expenses if we can. We're gonna have to raise utilities, you know that. But if we get that out of the way, we won't have to put that in there to raise the price even more. And that's
Yeah.
what I'd like to do.
Yeah, so relative to the two projects we're looking at, I think bot may be an option down the road, so I think it doesn't hurt to pass that ordinance and have that tool in your tool belt if it comes to that. I'm just advising you on the way they typically evolve. Bots may be an option, but maybe an option down the road a little bit.
Yeah, and what I will say is before we can even compare, bot to a different method, you would have to pass this resolution to get to the scoping period to know, to have the number to compare. So this would be a prerequisite to get on those numbers.
Okay.
So this would be 2016, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we set this up to where we can be considered able to use bot if we so choose what would be best for the town, unless we can get it started.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Okay.
2-0. So all right on here, 2026.
Who gets a copy of it? You got it?
Yeah, just keep it for themselves.
Okay.
Give us a copy, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to ratify an emergency AC repair. Our air conditioner went out. And we got it replaced. Both units was 2004. It was pretty old, and it was pretty terrible when there were a few days of 90-some degrees trying to work. So we got replaced and repaired, so we have to, tonight, pass a ratification on that purchase. You got anything you want to say on it?
Can you say which places you've reached out to for quotes? There's the person who did it, and I know you reached out to Ryan Webster as well for quotes.
Yeah, I didn't get an answer to that. I didn't actually get to talk to him. We've had so much going on talking to people. Then we got, they gave us a $750 discount, which helps some. But I mean, we had to do it. Well, I got to pass that one. So anything else you want to put on there?
Well, just that you reached out to multiple options and you went ahead with it, and this is the ratification there.
Okay. So we'll vote on that. Got a second?
And Bill?
Yeah, I'm getting fit. I had a couple people in here that was customers. I was gonna get in trouble, but the day was awful hot. They got early. So, 2-0.
All in favor?
I vote for it, you vote for it. So, let's see. You got a copy of that, and send them a copy, right? That emergency. We need to send you a copy of that?
No, just make sure it's in the minutes, make sure the minutes reflect there was an emergency. We had two people were reached out to for quotes. So I guess we got quotes from two.
On deed, we need to go back for Friday.
Sure. But then I think that we could add these contracts into that at the same time. Because these contracts, they're kind of like rehires. Are you looking at?
Now it's the
Grants?
approval on deed.
See, I'm looking at the original, I think.
We can do that. We need to advertise for Friday morning.
Oh, yeah, we won't have an executive meeting on Friday at 9:30, but I'll send you the info on it. And it's going to be to, interview our,
So,
Prospective employees.
yeah,
yeah. And
What time on Friday?
9:30.
And then the pest control. We found some neighbors that we don't need at these buildings. We found Genesis. They're not far outside of town here, but he's licensed and stuff. We had Haseman and,
Hands, and
and Genesis came by far the cheapest.
right now Hands has the contract with just this building. They never did do any of the other buildings. We need all of the buildings protected.
So, yeah. Yeah, Haseman was like, what, 2,700?
For you,
Mm-hmm.
225 a month, or 225 a month.
And then, Genesis, they'd be a little over $1,200 in those years. Or around there.
That's 200, what is it? 225 a month. Theirs is,
That's a quarter. Is that what it is?
okay,
Every quarter is $295.
$900.
So I'm gonna make a motion to go with Quest, get them in here and get them busy on that. For that thing, Quest.
I don't do questions.
Genesis, well, Quest is another company. With Genesis for this quote, do I have a second for it?
I'll second it.
Okay, vote for it, 2-0.
I can get a hold of Hands to cancel their,
Okay.
contract that they have.
Yeah. So, we'll be in the spraying, have them go around for the fire department, the 2 sewer plants, or 1 sewer plant, 1 water plant, and here, there's 4 buildings.
Well, the pole barn, too.
Well, that's what I said, they're doing it straight.
Oh,
But it is.
okay.
I didn't have to talk about it. So actually, it'd be 5 places that be doing it, so. Well, we got that taken care of. Let me do that and what they call them. Okay. Have we got all the stuff to okay the claims for June? Well, okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the claim.
Okay, I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
No, we didn't talk about these two contracts.
What's that?
We've got local government services LLC.
Oh.
And independent contractor agreement. I thought we were gonna talk about that under, new hires, which we're having an executive meeting for that one on Friday for, a new town employee that,
This
which would be
is,
healthcare.
this is, local government services, it's by Janet Alexander and Susan Bass. And I've done a lot of footwork and stuff, and I know Nancy has too. But Susie is supposed to be one of the best for not Gateway, what's the other one? Keystone. Even the Keystone.
Yeah.
And we can get them to get in here and get what we need to and put things right. We've got some errors in there that we've got to correct. And they seem very helpful, reassuring, and willing to help us.
I've talked to Ms. Jen before too on other things, and she's very helpful on some other things that we've had.
I mean, we don't, and that was the other thing I wanted to ask Grant. I mean, stuff like checks and things like that. Have you even seen this contract?
I have.
You have?
Briefly, I looked at it today.
I mean, I don't want to put everything. I think when you kind of said something about that, that I would like to use them for checks and stuff like that, to let Janet and Susan get it straightened out. They're willing to.
Keystone.
Huh? Keystone, everything they can do remote, help us out. They'll train the next person in to where they have a good knowledge of this stuff. And it's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy.
There's really two scopes of work for these two
Right,
different groups,
right.
is that
Right.
right?
That's
Me,
the way I was kind of looking at it.
Shay, and Janet,
And
Susie.
they've helped a lot of towns. And I would like to consider them doing it for both. I don't know what Nancy thinks, that's my
I've
opinion.
talked to her before, and she's very, so very comfortable going, and she would be able to, they would remote in and do all of our stuff. I think that we probably end up, like Hartman Williams, we would not use them anymore. Because these would cover everything.
Okay.
I don't know, we gotta look at that contract, do we?
There's no date on that.
She's not, they really don't have us tied down to that. That's what I'd
I
like to
mean-
do, we gotta get this going, we gotta quit spinning our wheels.
So as long as it can be terminated at will, you get out of it when you need to, I've got no issues with it. I think
They're both like that.
both groups can do the job that they've been asked to do. So.
Mhm.
So,
I'll make a motion to accept, local government services, with Janet Alexander and Susie Bass.
okay. I'll second that. All in favor? 2-0. It passed. I mean, we appreciate everything Odie's done for us. and
Well, we
stuff
still
like
have
that.
a
Right.
project with them, yeah.
But there's just some things that I think is pretty complicated.
Well, but they don't have the time to do everything.
They're busy right now especially.
But they have been coming over here and doing everything, like doing our payroll and paying our bills and stuff on, on just because they're good stewards and want to help out the town. So, but going forward, they do want to get on that.
Yeah. And that's the other thing, we're gonna have to do I don't know if I thought I mentioned it to you, the retro pay to give Susan something,
Yeah, so I mean,
like to get Randy involved.
yeah, so that kind of think I've, sent an email to the group saying, if she wants to get paid for utilities work, what need to happen is utilities clerk gets separated from the clerk treasurer duties, in the salary ordinance, and then Susan gets paid going forward.
We'd have to amend the salary.
Yeah.
But this is a step where we can go ahead and fix it, and you approve it, and we can pay it. Right? We don't have to rehash.
I mean, I think the process is just amending the salary ordinance and
Okay.
going forward from there.
Do you have a copy of this? We can go ahead, we have to vote on it with Mandy and Chad.
Yeah, we gotta do manual shades.
Do you have that copy? 'Cause I wrote on this one. This looks like- It should see, probably, unless it's over there by that Rumpke.
Is it this one that you're talking about?
It says independent contractor agreement on top. Oh, here,
This one?
look, it doesn't have any resolution or anything.
Yes, I do.
I guess we could.
Resolution,
So,
Right.
It's not me.
that's not it.
This one.
I thought it was in there, in the spot book, in the spot book. The whole letter.
I mean, I guess just because I wrote her name on there, it doesn't matter, but it's fine. You guys reviewed this and thought it was okay?
which contract is this?
The one with me and you, Chad?
Yeah, that's fine. I will say, I think the board needs to make a motion selecting one of the council members to assume the clerk treasurer duties in light of the vacancy and the lack of applications of potential clerk treasurers. Other than that, the agreement looks good as long as there's an at-will termination clause, which I believe there is.
I think so, yeah.
Looks fine to me.
Now, I'll make a motion for Jared Jack to be on as clerk treasurer,
To assume the
to
clerk
assume
treasurer.
the clerk treasurer duties to the end of the term.
Yeah, well, I talked to Janet and Susan, and they said they would guide me to it. So I was trying to make sure, I know you're busy with a full-time job and everything, so we'll try it.
So do we have to vote on it, or just say, oh, that's fine?
Yeah, make a motion and vote on it. Can I restate the motion?
Sure.
So the motion is to select Jerry to assume the clerk treasurer's duties until the current term of the clerk treasurer ends, or a clerk treasurer is selected, whichever is earlier.
Second that motion. You okay?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. All in favor?
I'm party.
I wouldn't if it, I mean, I don't know what we'd do, but with Janet and Susan after talking to them on the phone about it, I don't
Yeah.
feel too bad about it, 'cause they said I'd just be a fee. More or less.
So, I'd also like to go ahead and make a motion to go ahead and sign this contract with Mandy Chad, that they will come when we need them for do payroll and stuff like that. Until we can all figure everything out with Janet and, you know, make sure that we got everything covered.
They worked with, that was the other thing I was gonna mention is, Janet and Susan said they had worked with a clerk from another town to help another town. I really don't want to say names, because I don't know if the municipalities and stuff would appreciate it. But, they said they'd be willing to work with people too.
I'll make a motion to sign this independent contractor agreement with all of them. I'm gonna sign this and give it to you.
I think after I'm done, I'm gonna set fireworks off.
You sound like you said you're gonna drink a beer.
Huh?
I thought you said you were gonna drink a beer.
I don't drink beer.
He's gonna do that, then set fireworks off.
Combination.
He's gonna drink beer, then set fireworks.
Blow my hands off.
I'm gonna go home.
Okay.
This is just not gonna stay at my working. This is when I'll leave the thing.
I don't even know how, I mean, they helped us put the banners up, which I thought was real nice. As soon as we get them in, get a chance, and when they come back, they're gonna help me trim them up a little bit better, but trying to put 20 up and, you know, just in one day, it takes some pushing. So, as soon as some of them bands was a little bit long, just need to snip them off. But I tried to do the best I can with what the county gave us. I mean, I'd like to have more, and went down to 58, but we got down to almost the park, and then down to the marathon. And then we started here on the corner, and went all the way down Oden Street, all the way, and then went to the Methodist Church, and then to the vets. So, and I appreciate it that the county provided them for us. I mean, it is our 250th birthday as a country, and we should be thankful for that, that's for sure. I called today to see when the next day would be the sheriff's office, the sheriff's department. So they're down there trying to get
Oh, they are?
everything fixed, and he really couldn't talk. I didn't expect him to after he told me what he was up to. So he's gonna get back with me. We got the ditches all weeded, which I really think is a help with mosquitoes. They need, I don't know, to buy some more of them donuts.
Oh, yeah.
That's safe. It's animal safe and to put in the water, and then when the water dries up, they go dormant, and when it rains again, it comes out and treats the water in the ditch to get rid of the mosquitoes.
Did we not have, I thought we had a few.
Well,
We could go and order some.
I think we need to, because this last rain may have washed some of them out quick.
I'll make a motion that we can go and buy some of those.
I'll make the second one,
All the-
2-0,
Um,
because I do think they work.
I do want to say that one thing too, like, I have spoke with the Republican caucus, woman down at Washington, Jan Hicks, I think is her last name. And she is in the process of trying to, replace Matt, as I think Republican, since he's running Republican. So we're just kind of waiting on, when she can get around to calling people. Some people might get a phone call that are, registered Republican. You can say yes or no. But hopefully that'll be soon. Public comment. Is there a list on public comment? Yeah, public comment?
Veronica Alt.
So Jerry is gonna be the clerk treasurer,
Yes.
that's, he's assuming clerk treasurer,
Mhm.
okay.
But did you hear what I said though?
Until somebody,
No, I said Janet and Susan will be pretty well doing it. But it's just like a figurehead, where I have to sign, somebody from the town has to sign.
Yeah, it has to be somebody from Elnora, and we didn't have anybody apply that is from Elnora. So we exhausted all of our avenues. So I think it's,
where's this Janet and
We
Susan
told,
from?
we also mentioned that in there, was it local government? How are they listed?
Local Government Services LLC is where they're from. Local government.
So were they the only two that have to be bonded? I mean, they're bonded, but you don't have to be bonded.
Jerry probably had to be
Nobody ever
on.
said that.
I was asking,
Yeah, but you said
Thank
it didn't
you.
have to be. No, I didn't say that. Yes, we're in the process of getting insurance changed and everything else.
and did the town ever, since they were getting ready to lose their insurance, was the town, did you guys get insurance? Like, if something happens to anybody?
To anybody.
Say I'm up here on your town property and I get, after this meeting and I fall, I mean, you're supposed to have, you should have the insurance. Do you understand what I'm asking?
Kind of, yeah. So the town has a couple of different options and potentially looking at specialty providers as well, so. Don't fall, Veronica.
Well, I'm not planning on it, I'm just saying that, I mean, that could be a big liability for the
Yeah.
town
They're in
to
pro-
be
they're in-
sued, you know, I mean, if
Yeah.
our insurance has been, terminated,
It hasn't been terminated yet.
So,
thank goodness. Okay.
anything else?
So,
No, I don't think so at this time.
Who's the next person? Sean Conklin?
No, you've covered everything.
yeah, sort of, concerned. If there's no more, then we're gonna go ahead and adjourn.
I'll second that motion. That was one. What time is it? 5:59.
Good job.
Thank y'all for coming.
I didn't have it.
See ya.
I am, but it's just like,
Long time then.
well, try it.
Francisco, He said,
We used to have these in school. I know that kind of fit real well.
Work hard is here. Very good.
Yeah, don't sit back, say something.
They do the planning themselves.